So last week we discussed how it seemed as if something was happening with Half-Life. The first Half-Life was having a significant amount of work being done to it behind the scenes, as detected through SteamDB, and Joshy, one of the contractors whom works for Valve, said, "Big day today, Freeman," on Twitter, and a few other smaller behind-the-scenes movements were taking place. He made a video about it, and then the tweet that Joshy had made, "Big day today, Freeman," was specifically about the announcement of the Steam Deck OLED, which Joshy had done a lot of work for. However, the updates to the Half-Life backend branch, the password-protected beta, continued. And then Half-Life 2 got a new password-protected beta branch, the Half-Life 2 branch called Pathfinding Test. And this video is sponsored by Enlisted, a World War II multiplayer shooter with a strong focus on historical authenticity while keeping the gameplay dynamic and the players always in the middle of the action. Available on PC, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, as well as PS4 and Xbox One with full cross-platform support. No purchase is necessary. Simply follow the links down in the description and get started. This is a game with large-scale combat and dozens of soldiers, light vehicles, armored vehicles, and aviation. You can go to battle in distinct historical campaigns such as the Battle for Moscow and the Invasion of Normandy, with several more already being worked on right now. Each campaign includes unique maps, troop types, weapons, vehicles, and more for players to unlock. The equipment, uniforms, vehicles, locations are all crafted with historical authenticity in mind, and the equipment follows historical realities in regards to its appearance and role in battle, and it's restricted along historical availability. I like the historical accuracy. I like World War II. I don't know if that's a red flag for me or not, but my grandfather was in it, so it's interesting to me. This game's cool, man. And while using my link in the description, you can get yourself 3 days of premium time and several orders for troops and weapons. And then today, the day we're recording, November 16th, 2023, 3 things happen. The Steam Deck OLED goes up for sale, and the Steam store kind of crashes. You know, that's how it goes. Half-Life 1 becomes free, at least for the next week. If you, for some reason, don't have Half-Life on your Steam account, you can get it for free right now, free to keep. And another SteamDB find. This is actually a package app, which is something that holds a bunch of related apps together under one ID. This one called the Half-Life Franchise Advertising app. This was first detected by SteamDB yesterday, November 15th, and was only updated 18 hours ago, November 16th at 2:40 UTC, naming it the Half-Life Franchise Advertising app. This happening in conjunction with the Steam Deck OLED launch seems to correlate, however that may be coincidence, so things are happening. Currently inexplainable things seem to be happening. As soon as I hit stop recording, Valve pulled the Get Half-Life button off of the Half-Life store page. It stated that it would be free to own for anybody that clicked the button up until November 20th. But they pulled it. What's going on here, guys? Some of the updates on specifically the Half-Life 1 beta branch appear to be pushing it more towards Steam Deck verification approval, remaking what looks to be major sections of the game's engine code to better take advantage of the Steam Deck's architecture and controller methods, which for a game as old as Half-Life 1, that seems to be a lot of work. Now, as for Half-Life 2 and their Pathfinding Test branch, I honestly have no idea. Pathfinding Test tells me that that's some kind of AI work going on. Don't want to try and speculate any kind of crazy stuff. Pathfinding Test in Half-Life 2 of all things seems to indicate that there is some work being done. Artificial intelligence within NPCs, enemies, some kind of AI-driven character to pathfind around different things. On a completely unrelated note, Neon Prime does have a lot of pathfinding stuff, you know, because of destruction of the environments, the AI-controlled NPCs need to be able to pathfind around the dynamically changing environment. That's probably nothing to do with this, so don't make the connections that I just made. Half-Life 2 is already supported and verified for the Steam Deck. In fact, they had a team of community members that were contracted temporarily, effectively remake the user interface and HUD to better take advantage of the Steam Deck. And the Half-Life 1 games, the Gold Source era games, did not receive that kind of treatment. The Gold Source era games would require a bit more work than Source Engine just because of its age and because of the different things that are expected of a product in order to receive the aforementioned Steam Deck verification. So we have 4 4 independent things all happening at around the same time in relation to Half-Life. Half-Life 1 has a password-protected beta branch that has been constantly updated over the last few weeks. Half-Life 2 now also has its own privately password-protected beta branch, which has also been receiving updates throughout the last 5 days. The first branch, the Half-Life 1 branch, is just called Test. The second branch, the Half-Life 2 branch, is called Pathfinding Test. Valve also published the Half-Life franchise advertising app on Steam within the last 24 hours. Exactly what is included in this package is either currently unknown or doesn't exist and has yet to be fully formed, but it is an application, a packaged application with its own appID on Steam that Valve has some alleged control over. Also, Half-Life is free now, at least for the next week, and just Half-Life 1, not the expansions, and no other Gold Source era games. And in fact, actually, as of recording, the majority of the people attempting to redeem this free copy of Half-Life 1 are met with an error on the Steam store. All of this happening at the same time that Valve is allowing the Steam Deck OLED to go up for sale. What kind of chicanery is this? I don't want to skip ahead as I only try and work on one big project at a time, but the Deckard, Valve's VR headset, is trucking away in development really, really well. The developers keep mentioning how the Steam Deck is a stepping stone to VR. They're talking about the Deckard. Go subscribe to people like Sadly It's Bradley. We'll have a video about it one day. But something that needs to be stated, I have been hearing a lot more about the flagship game to best demonstrate the Deckard capabilities. We'll talk about this in more detail at a later date. Get subscribed. But of course, that flagship game is codenamed HLX. It is a follow-up to Half-Life Alyx in some mechanical capacity. There's more to be said on it. There's more to be found about it. We've actually been data mining information about it for the last 2 years, and we'll likely hear something about it within the next 18 months. Neon Prime is allegedly next, as long as they don't end up shelving the product. And then, of course, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Again, I need more time to be able to parse through this information. Yeah, I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. Get subscribed if you want to be able to follow up on these stories. It's a lot of work, and it's also far more confusing than it used to be because Valve has gotten a lot smarter at keeping this stuff private. Anywho, thank you so much to Enlisted, an actual video game, sponsoring my channel. And again, thank you so much to Darkflow Software for sponsoring this video. Links to everything down in the description below. I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. Thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon. I hope something fun comes out of this that you can all enjoy. But in the meantime, I'm going to get back to work on my other big projects. If you want to support this kind of stuff, I do have a Floatplane and a Patreon page. Different stuff is passed around on that. I do live stream to the Floatplane page, or at least I try to, somewhat, semi-infrequently. And also I have a Twitch, twitch.tv/Tyler McVicker, where we stream once in a while on there. I'll see you all later. I'll have another video soon, hopefully more frequently than I have been doing lately. And I hope you're having a great life. Talk to y'all later. Adios.